This week on Comic History, Trigon begins in Teen Titans Fearsome 5. What's up guys, Roman from R&S Entertainment here, and welcome to another episode of Comic History, the series where we talk about the iconic origins and storylines in the world of comics. In this video, we're continuing our multi-part series on the iconic New Teen Titans, my personal favorite comic series of all time, and the book that cemented the Teen Titans as a major and hallmark superhero team in the DC universe. So far, we've covered the origin of the New Teen Titans in Part 1, and Teen Titans vs. Deathstroke in Part 2, so if you want to see what happened right before this story, make sure to check those videos out as well. Today in Part 3, we're going to be talking about Teen Titans Fearsome 5, a story that serves to set up both Justice League vs. Teen Titans and the Trigon storylines, along with introducing several Titans villains, some of whom have appeared in both the Teen Titans animated series and the Young Justice cartoon. The story begins with the new Teen Titans hanging out at the lofty New York apartment of Donna Troy, who has begun rooming with Starfire, aka Coriander of Tamaran, who, still new to the planet, tells the others the basics of her origin, which you can find out more about in our Origin of Starfire video. Meanwhile, small-time supervillains Mammoth and Shimmer arrive at a meeting point responding to a request for a new superpowered criminal group, put out by Dr. Light, a D-list DC villain who is pretty much lost to every superhero he's ever fought. The group consists of Dr. Light, who as his name suggests can control light beams with his technological suit, Simon, a mysterious telepath with psionic powers, Gizmo, a genius dwarf who creates machine weapons, and the previously mentioned Shimmer and Mammoth, who have matter transmuting powers and super strength and durability respectively. Dr. Light declares that the first mission their new group has is to destroy the Teen Titans, and then we see Starfire finish her story and Raven appear in a whirl of smoke, telling the Titans that she needs them for another emergency. Robin stops her and says that before they run off to blindly follow her, they need answers as to who she really is and why she won't tell the other Titans anything while still expecting them to follow her. Kid Flash mindlessly speeds forward and punches Robin in the face, once again being weirdly protective and trusting of Raven, who secretly has influenced his thoughts with her powers to force him to fall in love with her. The villains tell Dr. Light that attacking the Teen Titans is a dumb idea. They're criminals and only care about money. Plus, if they did kill them, they'd have all the other superheroes out after them for revenge. Simon calmly states that the battle with the Titans is unavoidable, as they are already on their way. The Teen Titans burst through the roof and attack the villains, with Raven having convinced the team that they were a threat. The newly formed Fearsome 5 use their powers to fight off the Titans, with Gizmo firing a mortar at Robin, Mammoth using his strength to fight off several of the Titans at once, and Simon using his psionic powers to force Kid Flash to run in circles until he's caught in his own whirlwind. Dr. Light's power suit has also been improved by Gizmo, increasing the strength of his light projections and enabling him to deflect Starfire's starbolts. When a stray starbolt hits Mammoth, Shimmer steps forward and uses her powers to transmute the walls and floor surrounding the Titans into ether, which knocks the entire team unconscious, with Raven disappearing into smoke as Robin yells out that she's disappearing on them again. Meanwhile, the Fearsome 5 leaves the Titans helpless without finishing them off, having been mentally manipulated by Simon for his own purposes. Raven appears again on the rocky crag, yelling out to the same voice we saw her speak to in Teen Titans vs. Deathstroke, saying Trigon's name for the first time and accusing him of assembling the Fearsome 5 to fight her and her Titans. And when she asks him if it's because he fears her and the team she's assembled to fight him, he turns his attention to her and prepares to fire a destructive blast. But before he does, she teleports away, saying that they will meet soon on the field of battle, with Trigon musing about why he couldn't fire his bolt faster and kill her before she escaped. Meanwhile, Cyborg, who has been absent from the battles and conflict with the Fearsome 5, is at his shitty apartment arguing with his father Silas Stone, who used his connections as a Star Lab scientist to track down Victor's location. Victor blames his father for his mom's death and for his own state as a half-mechanical being, and makes him leave before seeing a letter in his apartment cordially inviting him to the opening of Titan's Tower. The next day, Beast Boy aka Changeling tunnels his way onto a small island off Manhattan as a gopher, having received the same invitation, and comes across a gigantic high-tech tower in the shape of a T, seemingly just a gift for the young superhero team. Beast Boy assumes that this must be a trap and muses about his depression over his foster mother Rita Farr's death, along with his adopted father Steve Dayton's disappearance while searching for her murderers, saying that the jokes he uses to keep himself going are starting to get a little stale. He finds the other Titans who are trying to search both the computers and the tower itself to find any clues as to who is offering them this headquarters and why. Raven suddenly appears and says that the tower is of no importance and that they have a mission elsewhere. Robin says that they're not going anywhere until Raven gives them some answers, and when Kid Flash starts up his whole mindlessly protect Raven thing, she stops him and says that Robin is right. She has given them little reason to trust or follow her. She tells the team about her days training in the mystic arts in the Temple of Azarath, and how in a deep trance she received prophetic visions being approached by the visage of Trigon the Terrible, who you can learn all about in our Origin of Raven episode. She saw the Justice League of Earth unwittingly unleash Trigon's demons on the planet, and saw the Justice League fall to Trigon's General Goron before Trigon's grip enveloped and destroyed the world. She then saw the faces of the Fearsome Five, saying that it was a warning that the villain group wanted them to fight the Justice League, and that it is in the world's best interest if they win. Meanwhile, the Fearsome Five question the fact that Dr. Light's plans have made no sense. He wants to destroy the Justice League because he believes they'll be the cause of his death, and to do that, he wants to destroy the Teen Titans? Dr. Light realizes that even he doesn't understand his plans, and Simon says that's because he's been in control of Light's actions since the beginning, mentally blasting Light and saying that he has once again informed the Titans of their location. Simon reveals that until yesterday he was a physicist working obsessively on piercing the barriers between dimensions, finally succeeding and immediately being blasted by Trigon's power from the void, giving him his psionic powers and putting him into Trigon's control. Seeing Dr. Light's call for supervillains, he knew he could manipulate them into his service to carry out Trigon's plans. Simon telepathically taunts the Titans, telling them to come to the field of battle and learn who their superiors are. And Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, Donna, and Changeling leave to go fight them, with Raven saying that fighting supervillains is pointless and that they should be convincing the Justice League of her visions. Wally stays behind with her and asks if they could do that themselves, and Raven evades the question. The rest of the Titans attack the Fearsome Five on a ship off the coast, with Dr. Light blasting Starfire and Donna out of the air, causing Robin to crash into the water. Gizmo fires a device at Cyborg which explodes on contact and blows his arms clean off, and then sneaks up behind Starfire and latches a machine he calls a gravity toe on her hands, which activates and uses her own starbolts to fire her directly into the ground towards the center of the Earth. Shimmer and Simon dispatch Donna by dropping a smokestack on her and then knocking her into a sleep with Simon's psionic powers. And Robin pulls himself out of the water to see Cyborg missing both arms and defeated, thinking that he can make it back to dry land unnoticed before looking up and seeing Mammoth swinging a superpowered punch at his face. Back at the tower, Raven thinks out loud about whether she should tell the Titans the whole truth about why she assembled them, but then stops when she feels that all of the Titans except Starfire and Changeling are knocked out. She sends Kid Flash in to help, and when he arrives a moment later, he sees Starfire, who had finally broken out of the gravity toe, fighting off Mammoth, who he bounces right off of when he tries to charge him at super speed. Changeling also appears and joins the battle briefly before being knocked unconscious by Simon. Mammoth grabs Starfire out of the air and slams her into the ground, and when Kid Flash charges at Mammoth again, Simon mentally takes control of Mammoth's reflexes and puts his hand out right where Kid Flash's face was about to be, knocking him out and leaving Raven as the last Titan standing. Her soul self watches her teammates defeat, and Raven thinks to herself that she doesn't have a choice, and that even though they scorned her before, she has to go to the Justice League for help. This is the first time that it's revealed that Raven contacted the Justice League before assembling the Teen Titans, and sets up the next part of the story, Justice League vs. Teen Titans, which we're going to cover in a future episode of Comic History. The Fearsome Five are pretty minor villains, but together, under the guidance of Simon, who is guided by Trigon, they actually pose a threat to the newly formed Teen Titans. And this story arc sets up Justice League vs. Teen Titans, and then Trigon lives. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. For more Teen Titans goodness, you can check out the Comic History playlist, where we've got origin videos on Starfire, Raven, Robin, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Terra, Deathstroke, and Rose Wilson. And I've also done episodes on the origin of Young Justice, the origin of the new Teen Titans, which is the first issue of this series, Teen Titans vs. Deathstroke, which covers Deathstroke's first appearance in the comics, and the Titans Young Justice crossover event Graduation Day. I love the Teen Titans. They've always been my favorite superhero team, and the new Teen Titans in the 80s was the pinnacle of what made them great. We've got a ton of good comic histories coming out soon, from more Teen Titans stories, to Walking Dead character spotlights, to continuing on some of our other series on symbiotes, Spider-Man, and the X-Men. What would you like to see in future episodes? Leave your suggestions in the comment section below, and again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to RNS Entertainment for all things comics.